Ops 1. The funniest thing was he said like when the game ended, he was like, what happened? And then like it ended, he was like, oh, I beat it. And I was like laughing so hard at that because I never expected a reaction to be like, oh, I beat it. I said like I'm whenever I see him, I'm gonna tell him like, dude, you know how long it took me to beat Call of Duty Black Ops 1? I know he's gonna say how long because it took him like a few days. For me, it took me 2 to 3 weeks because no one knows that I love Call of Duty, big fan, because you know I'm a gamer. Like I'm a gamer. I played Call of Duty Black Ops 1, and the reason why it took me 2 to 3 weeks to play Call of Duty Black Ops 1 was because I kept dying a lot in the missions, but also because I see you in another life. What do you mean, see you in another life? Why? What do you mean? What do you mean, PJ? What's wrong? What do you mean, see me in another life? Why? What happened? What's wrong? You okay? I'm gonna stop the stories first. I need to check on PJ, one of my best friends. What's wrong, PJ? What happened? What do you mean by bye, Brooke? See you in another life. What do you mean by that? What happened? Are you alright, PJ? Is something wrong? Sorry, I'm adjusting my glasses because mostly they're off my face. Okay, is it hot or cold in this room? Because I feel a mixture of hot and cold. PJ, tell me what's wrong. Don't say bye, you're alright. While waiting for her to respond, basically why I kept dying in Black Ops 1 was due to because, um, basically why I kept dying in Black Ops 1 while I'm waiting for my friend to reply is because whenever, like, you know the NPCs in Call of Duty Black Ops 1, whenever I'd kill them, I'm trying to advance on, and then I would get killed, and then I'd have to, like, figure out, like, how to finish the missions. But that was a while ago, but, like, now looking back, I'm like, dang, you took 2 to 3 weeks finishing the whole campaign of Black Ops 1, but you claim because there was so many NPCs. I mean, I love Call of Duty because I grew up playing it, and to this day I still love it. But the I don't like I think it's either Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare, the one that takes place in the future. And that's the one I don't like. Or I think it's Ghost that I don't like. I don't like Ghost. It's one of the games that takes place in the future, and Kevin Spacey is in it. I don't like that one. It's not because of him, but it's just because like it just feels a bit weird, you know, because most of the games, and I'm not being rude, most of the games take place in either the war or they take place like in the future. I do like the war ones and some of the future ones, but I prefer like the ones from back then. But my most favorite Call of Duty game would have to be Call of Duty World War II. I love that one. I still replay it from time to time, and the one thing I can't forget is like the game starts on D-Day. It first starts on D-Day. And I don't know if people can relate to this, but if you've ever played video games, to me it's like you're actually like watching a movie, but you're controlling as the characters. Gosh, I love Call of Duty World War II. I got one of my cousins into it, and one minute he's playing the game, next minute he starts crying at the end, and I was like, that's the part that got you, the ending? And he said, what was the part that got you up? And I said, probably when Turner, you know, happens. If you don't want to hear, cover your ears. It's the part when Turner, one of the main characters, gets killed off. And another time was when Zussman got captured, and then the other time when we see Zussman again. but also the ending though as well when we hear what happened to Daniel's brother, because like in the first part, like sort of the first part of the game, we hear that they got attacked by wolves, and we all assume like, oh, he's okay. But then later on, you see that like it's revealed he actually died when Daniels was a kid, and then that's when you're like, oh my god. So he didn't tell us that part. All he said was he was fine, but he's not. That's the part that got me crying the most. I paused the game when that happened, and I said, even though I would never hunt wolves with my older brother, like go hunting, that is one thing that get me choked up because I was starting to like up, meaning like I was starting to cry. That's the part that always gets me in like movies or shows when like it shows like the older siblings, right? And then like you assume like when after they get injured, you assume they're okay, but then later on it's revealed that they've been dead all along. That's the part that always gets me. They always get killed off. It always makes me upset seeing like the main characters like brothers get killed off in like movies or shows or games. I think the one part, like even though it was sort of like a sad moment, or it was a sad moment, it was when the church tower's collapsing on Call of Duty. Hello, by the way, is collapsing, and like Pearson like grabs you like to pull you out, and he's like, "You see wings on me, Private?" And like character's like, "No, sir," and he's like, "That's because I'm not your fairy fucking godmother." I know it's a sad moment, but it made me laugh. There's a lot of funny like moments in Call of Duty World War II. That's why I love in like serious like moments, like serious movies or shows, but like they still want to like crack a few jokes because like sure like it's meant to be, I said traumatic sort of, but like it's meant to be dramatic in a way and emotional, but it's meant to be funny in a way. So yeah. I think the one part that got me like not like traumatized while playing Call of Duty World War II, but it was sort of like make me think like, so this is what war was like. Because when I saw Saving Private Ryan, I was like, damn, so that's what the war was like. Because well, obviously I know what the war was like, but like I was like, damn, so this is what the war was like back then. It was so like, oh goodness me, it's so oh. It was hard to be honest playing Call of Duty World War II because like so many explosions, so many gunfire everywhere, and I was like, oh, it's like I'm actually in Saving Private Ryan. I just need Tom Hanks to like to put like that gun like that mirror thing and say like, there's a sniper over there. I need one of my snipers to shoot the explosives. If anyone gets that reference slash seen that movie, you'll understand what I mean. If you don't, watch that movie. You'll get what I mean. It's a good movie. I think one other thing, like, one thing that made me almost want to delete the game was the most hardest mission for me. It's when you're sort of in that whole place, and when there's like Germans, like, I'm not gonna say it, but Germans in the basement, you, you got the refugees onto the truck, but there's one little girl that you gotta try and get out of there, otherwise you might get captured. That was the hardest part because it took me half an hour to get out, but I kept getting captured because I kept going the wrong way, or I kept going because like the Germans, they'd be. I'll answer you soon, Jay. One sec. That the Germans would be turned this way, and I'd assume like, oh, okay, so they're not gonna see me. But then I walk past, they turn around, they're like, hey, and I'm like, son of a. I'm like almost about to give up. But one of my friends got me out of there, and I was like, bro, thank you. I was playing this mission for like half an hour, and he was like, was it hard? And I was like, oh, let's see, you got capture Germans every minute. Yes, it was hard, and I'm doing good, Jay. But that's one of the hardest missions. But actually, the other hard mission, well, it's part of it actually. Is when you play as those guys in the tanks and you gotta like try and get to the hotel as backup. That's, even though it's still part of the same mission, it was hard for me though as well, cause like you gotta take down these tanks, and then like there's another tank that's coming. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be hard. But there is one last hard mission that it's not the one, because that's one of my favorites. It's Battle of the Bulge. You know, when the one you're in the plains. Oh, phone was dying. Sorry. It's the one where you're in those planes, right? And you're like sort of like meant to come to our characters to give us backup. That is one of the missions that I find so hard, because it's like I'm playing like Flying Simulator or something. Gosh, it's hard because like what you gotta do Battle of the Bulge after, like, you call for backup, like the planes, is while you're getting over to your character, the main character, there's like Germans like flying in the planes, and you gotta take them down while you're coming to us. And it's so hard because like most of the characters say 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock. I'm like, which direction though? Because they're always like, hey, 10 o'clock, yeah, 12 o'clock. And I'm like, what direction do you want me to shoot at though? And then they shoot at me, and I'm, why didn't you tell me straight ahead or left, right, where? Jesus. Although it was a great mission, to be honest. I had like 3 times because they kept shooting down my plane. I was like, can you tell me what direction they come in? And then finally someone said what direction. So I was like, oh, thank you. Give that guy a big round of applause, everybody. He just gave me the directions where to go. Thank you so much. Someone buy this guy a drink after the war. God. But the one scene that got me the most emotional was probably the last time Turner, the character called Turner. That part got me emotional. Because, like, what's the word? Like, our character gets sort of shot, but we survive. And, like, Turner, like, helps us. And he's like, are you alright? We're like, yeah. But then, boom! And then, like, yeah. Oh, gosh, it made me cry during that part. That's the most emotional thing that got me crying. I couldn't stop crying on that part. I think the other part that got me, and like I mentioned, I'm going soon, but this is the last thing I'll mention, that when we see Zussman, like, get captured, because, like, I think, if I remember correctly, Zussman goes for our character, but then gets captured by the Germans when we're having a big fight, and then we try to, like, because I think there's another train or something, and we say, like, oh, I'm gonna go and, get Zussman, but, like, Pearson's like, no, we're meant to finish the mission, and, like, Daniel's like, I don't give a shit, he, like, throws him out the way, and he's like, I need to get him, and, like, Pearson's like, Daniels, you come back here right now. I, like, looked back before I drove, and I just saw Pearson give me that glare, like, dude, if you drive away, you're not coming back here. The only way you're coming back is if you're going back home. To be honest, even though I could understand that Pearson didn't want us to go, I was like, dude, you don't give a shit that one of your men just got captured. I give a shit. Gosh, every time. I know I'm not in the game, like, as a voice, but I felt like I was, because I was saying, like, my own stuff. I was like, no, you, Pearson, I'm getting my best friend. But then, like, when I saw him in that, like, camp, you might get what I mean. Gosh, seeing, like, what happened, and then, like, seeing him again after, like, how he turned out, I was like, oh, man. I'm like, what did they do to you, man? I felt like Rocket from Guardians 2 when, like, after he sees, like, what the Ravengers did to Groot, and he's like, oh, what have they done to you? That's what when I saw Zussman in Call of Duty World War 2, I was like, oh, dude, what did the Germans do to you? Hello, dude. Almost finished my story, and then I'm gonna go, because I'm gonna react to a bit more of Joe. I saw that apparently Joe had been playing Black Ops 1, and I was like, dude, really? I'm, like, reacting to you playing Fortnite, now you're getting back into Call of Duty. Because I asked him weeks ago, would you ever go back to playing Call of Duty? He was like, nah. And then he goes back into it. Bro, you lied to me. I texted him something last night, but it was like a voice message. And when I saw Joe was like recording Black Ops 1, all I said to him in the voice chat, "You're a dirty, lying bastard. Invite me to a party right now, I want to talk to you." I sounded like he'd be money. Oh gosh, the kind of friendship me and him have. My face is turning red because I'm laughing. One last Call of Duty story before I go. It's we're playing Call of Duty World War II Zombies, right? And I remember this so well is that we're playing one of the final Zombies maps. I forgot what it was called. I think like Frozen Throne or something. Anyways, we're like doing the last part of the mission, and this giant like the zombie, you know, like the one with like that arm that's like a wooden bat but it's got like spikes on it. We like I say like, hold up, I'm gonna do the last thing for the mission for the cutscene. He's like, oh yeah, go do that. Right when I'm walking, like, well, running, the giant thing comes out. I'm like, Jesus, where'd you come from? And then he's like, go the other way. And then we turn around, there's another one. And we turn around, there's like another one. There's like three giant zombies with like the wooden arm with like spikes out of it. And we're like, oh, bro, we're cooked. Well, more like we didn't say cooked, we said F. We're like, oh, bro, we're effed. And we're like, yep, we are. But, both me and him ran out even though we got hit, like, only once. It hurt a bit, but luckily didn't kill our character. But, like, the funniest thing was that me and him actually thought, oh gosh, this is how it's gonna end the game for us, isn't it? Just us getting hit by a bunch of zombies with, like giant zombies that look like Goliath from the Bible with, like spikes on their wooden arms. I was like, where do you, I told him we were running from them, where do you think they got the wood from? And he said, Pinocchio. And I said, oh, so now we know what happened to Pinocchio. Got killed and half the wood got turned into the giant zombies. I remember the zombies without the arms, but like they'd run fast at you. I felt like, oh my gosh, it's the gremlins. It's the demonic gremlins. Oh gosh, I love playing COD, but I gotta get back into it, to be honest. Because there's there's so many funny moments I wish I recorded, to be honest. Because, like, how do I say this? Back then, we used to have this huge debate. Because, like, both me and him love both Conor McGregor and Mike Tyson. So we would always have a huge debate on who would win between Conor McGregor or Mike Tyson. And then he's like, Mike Tyson all the way. And I'm like, nah, Conor McGregor, mate. Conor McGregor would win. And he's like, no, he wouldn't. I'm like, yes, he would. Have you ever seen Conor McGregor? See, look at Conor McGregor in Roadhouse. He beat up Jake Gyllenhaal, but then Jake Gyllenhaal fought him. And Jake Gyllenhaal also fought Post Malone in that movie. One of my favorite rappers. And he was like, okay, who do you think Conor McGregor would fight? And then he said, Bruce Lee. And I said, nah, Bruce Lee. And same as Jackie Chan, if Jackie Chan fought Conor McGregor. And he said, how? And I said, Jackie Chan's in Karate Kid? And look at Bruce Lee. And I love Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's in so many kung fu movies, he would kick the shit out of Conor McGregor. And then he said, alright, who else do you think would kick Conor McGregor's ass? And I'm like, whew, even though it's a wrestler, I would say Brock Lesnar. And he was like, Brock Lesnar? And I was like, yeah, Brock Lesnar would kick his ass. Probably the same as Roman Reigns and The Rock and John Cena. John Cena would kick his ass. Gosh, I was like naming so many like WWE wrestlers and UFC boxers, and like Joe was like, alright, you win. Conor McGregor won, and Conor McGregor would win. Mike Tyson? Even though I love him, I just don't think he would fight Conor McGregor. I don't know if he knows him or respects him, but still. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do some reactions. I'll see you guys in the next live whenever I do it.